On August 2nd, 2024, a major event in US history happened in a recent development. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris welcomed two important people back to the US at a military base in Maryland. Paul Whelan, a former US Marine, and Evan Gershkovich, a journalist, had been held in another country, and their return was a significant and emotional moment for their families and the country. And about 12 Wall Street Journal staff members gathered on the runway to show support for their returning colleague. So let's dive into the details of this momentous occasion. On Thursday, August 1, Russia released Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich and former US Marine Paul Whelan. And this was a part of a big prisoner exchange with the United States. Well, Paul Whelan, a former US Marine, was held in difficult conditions and overseas. On the other hand, Evan Gershkovich, a journalist, faced similar problems while working abroad. And their release came after a lot of hard work and international negotiations. The prisoners were flown from Russia to Turkey's capital, Ankara, and as a part of a complicated deal involving the United States, Germany, Poland, Slovenia, Norway, and Belarus, according to the Turkish presidency, where the statement said that the agreement that got them freed was a big success in diplomacy. And overall, we have helped release 16 people from Russia and involving 5 Germans and 7 Russians who were political prisoners in their own country. Meanwhile, celebrating the release, President Biden said, "It feels great. And it took a long time, but I always believed we could make it happen. I truly believe that working together with all allies made a big difference, and they took a risk for us, and it really mattered." Well, after the released Americans landed in the US, Vice President Kamala Harris also mentioned that "I am really grateful for our president." After the released Americans landed in the US, Vice President Kamala Harris also mentioned that "I'm really grateful for our president and what he did for these families. His skill in bringing our allies together and on this and other issue had been very important." Now later on, former President Barack Obama praised President Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and the US allies of their skill and determination, where top US leaders including Biden and Harris warmly welcomed the returning citizen and showing how important this moment was for them and their families. Well, this historic event highlights the complexity of international diplomacy and the US government's commitment to bringing citizens home through powerful negotiations. To follow India.com for more such international affairs.